Well, hello there, and welcome back to another video. It has been a hot minute. Um, yes, been a hot minute. But don't worry, there's some things in the works. I put up a post the other day on my social saying I'm starting a new series, so that'll be cool. And that'll also keep me accountable for like a regular upload schedule as well. So yeah, doing a series called Commander Jesse's Briefings. So I wanted to sort of keep in line in theme with the clone trooper profile I've got going, and yeah, we'll just be interviewing everyone and anyone that's a Star Wars fan, Star Wars content creator, anything like that, and yeah, just talking all things Star Wars. Yeah, no, it should be good fun. But in the meantime, before then, this article has just come out yesterday. I believe there's a couple conventions on this weekend over in America, and one of them is the LA Comic Con, and Ewan McGregor and Hayden were there. And Ewan has obviously mentioned something about season 2 of the Kenobi series. It always gets mentioned whenever he goes there, and it's always him just saying like, I want to do it. Hayden also says like, if Ewan's involved, I want to be there. But this time we've actually gotten a bit more of an update. I think the Twitter headline was that Lucasfilm are actually exploring ways for there to be a season 2, which is awesome. I'm all for it as long as they get it done right. I think for it to get done right, I think it really needs to incorporate Hayden and Ewan as part of the directors, as part of the directing team. They know what it should be, I think, so they really need to have a say in how it goes. And obviously it wouldn't mean, Vader and Kenobi have to meet again, because I don't think that really makes sense. But even just showing what Vader's up to. Because if I'm just quickly thinking off the top of my head, comics, games sort of cover that first 10 years up to Kenobi, and around that Kenobi period, 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. But I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I don't think there's much, if anything, really, that cover that sort of little bit between Kenobi, that 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, that halfway mark between 3 and 4 and episode 4. You get a bit of him in Rogue One, but that's pretty well the start of episode 4 anyway. So yeah, it'd be cool to see what Vader's sort of getting up to, because the last arc of the Vader series that happens between 3 and 4 is before Kenobi, because it's when he gets his castle made and everything. So yeah, I think it'd be really cool. It's still one of my favorite Disney projects. It definitely had its issues. I can recognize that. It's still one of my favorites. I actually just finished a rewatch of it today. And yeah, no, I absolutely love it. So we'll dive into this article and see what Ewan's actually got to say. So obviously, yeah, it's from LA Comic Con. You guys, you can see it a little bit, but my webcam's in the way. So Star Wars actor Ewan McGregor offered fans some good news regarding Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 as a part of Los Angeles Comic-Con. McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi was last seen in Season 1 of his self-titled series back in 2021. On it 2022? Anyway, despite Ewan McGregor sharing his excitement to potentially get to play the character again, word has been any sort of follow-up was not happening. It was always intended as, like a limited release. It was going to be one season and then that's it. But Ewan is all for a season 2, and if he's all for a season 2, you've got to do it. In fact, Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy previously told fans Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 was not in active development, but made sure to not count it out entirely. Ewan McGregor stokes the Obi-Wan Season 2 fire. The direct was in attendance at Ewan McGregor's Los Angeles Comic-Con appearance on Saturday, October 5th, where the longtime Star Wars actor Ewan McGregor gave an exciting update on Season 2. McGregor revealed how they are exploring a second season of his Obi-Wan Kenobi series. One idea for a continuation is, obviously, between the end of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and when Alec Guinness is Obi-Wan Kenobi, there's got to be another few stories in there, and we're definitely hoping, exploring that, I think, would be the word to say. Well, that's awesome. Before that, McGregor remarked that one of the first things he'd want to do for any Obi-Wan Kenobi follow-up is to wear the armor from the Clone Wars. Now, that would be sick. I'm trying to think. I'm going to try and come up with some ideas how that would come about. But that would be sick. I've already got an idea, but we'll save it till the end. He noted that a situation that allowed him to wear that armor would also mean he and Hayden could really get back together again. That'd be awesome to see him on the screen at the same time again. I think that could be something that I'd enjoy. That would mean I'd have to be younger, but they can do that. It's the de-aging. It's the dots on your face for 3 months, But I'll do it. I don't care. And then Hayden and I could really get back together again. That'd be awesome. This is the most positive movement towards a potential Kenobi Season 2 fans have seen or heard in months. For a while, it seemed as though the chances of any sophomore effort from the title were slim as executives involved in the project continued to play down talks of a season 2. Director Deborah Chow told fans in May 2023 that Obi-Wan Kenobi was always conceived of as a limited series, seemingly confirming that it was a one and done for the streamer. Chow would eventually go back on these comments. The Kenobi director later posited that a second season was not off the board, but nothing official on the project has ever been made public. You always think you're going to end a series like this in some magnificent way, but instead you end up in a parking lot with second unit and hardly anybody there. It's always so anticlimactic, but as Ewan and I finished our very last shot on second unit, and I was literally taking off my headphones, he was already pitching me ideas for season 2. There's another 10 years with plenty of stories, and I don't think it's off the board. It's a never say never situation, but we really did conceive this to be a limited series. Will Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 happen? For fans who have wanted more of Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, these new comments will be exciting. However, they are just the latest in a long line of vague comments surrounding any sort of follow-up. Since its initial release, Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 1 has been listed as the complete series, as opposed to the complete first season, like many other shows on the service are. Because of this, it was widely assumed that the Obi-Wan project was seen as a mini-series that would come and go with one set of episodes and never be heard from again, and that may have been the plan. It was. However, a lot can change in just a matter of years. In the time since Obi-Wan's initial release, Disney has completely shifted its release strategy, banking on known quantities and avoiding any sort of creative risks when possible. A name like Obi-Wan Kenobi resonates with fans. Coming off the relative flop of The Acolyte, Kenobi still stands as the third most popular Star Wars series on the Disney Plus platform, behind The Mandalorian and The Book of Boba Fett. Really, how are they judging that off? Maybe they're judging that off views or something. Really, Book of Boba Fett's ahead of it. They got hated on so much. I didn't hate it nearly as many as most people did, or a lot of people did. Given that Boba Fett was critically maligned by fans and The Mandalorian is reported to be ramping down, one can see why Disney may be reconsidering its stance on Obi-Wan being a one-time thing. It is the next biggest show in line, making it primed for a potential follow-up should Disney and Lucasfilm want to go back on the show's mini-series branding. So, I mean, yeah, that's the article. I think it would be great. I've already sort of said my ideas before I read that article on how I think it should be done. If they do a season 2, I think Ewan and Hayden need to be more involved with the planning, like really work with Filoni on a solid story, because there's definitely stories there to tell. Obviously, from Obi-Wan's point of view, it would be his training with Qui-Gon, I think, would be really cool to explore. And maybe in their journey together, you know, you see flashbacks to the Clone Wars and that with, you know, maybe Qui-Gon saying, maybe not necessarily, you know, pointing out exactly what he would have done over what Obi-Wan did in certain situations. Because obviously if Qui-Gon was Anakin's master, then he wouldn't have become Vader, Duel of the Fates, etc. Yeah, it would be really interesting to see that, you know, opposing opinions, I suppose, on how each of them would go about certain points in Anakin's training. But yeah, I'm thinking that's one way we could get flashbacks. But yeah, I'm trying to think how else we could get Clone Wars flashbacks of Anakin and Obi-Wan together. I think that'd be a really cool thing to explore, though. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon training together, you know, just going over everything. Yeah, and in the meantime, you know, we could see, because they've also, that's the other thing, they've got to, look, it's fresh in my mind now because I just watched episode 5 and 6 today, finished my rewatch. They've got to close Reva's arc now. Like, you can't just have her as a character floating around now after everything she knows. You know, they've got to close off her story somehow, because I don't like that it's been left open, especially as it was intended as a limited series. If there was more seasons, I could understand it a little bit more. But because it was intended as a limited series, they were just going to leave it like that. I think you need to close off her storyline. But yeah, no, I'm all for a second season of Obi-Wan. I absolutely loved it. I love having Ewan and Hayden back. They want to be back. They want to do it together. I mean, fans are going to watch it either way. They're just two iconic characters that a lot of people love, if not everyone. I don't see why you wouldn't do it. You just need to come up with the right story. Really have Filoni, Ewan, and Hayden sit down and carve out a really good story, and I don't see how it fails. But yeah, I'll also be doing a reaction. I know it came out a week or so ago now, but Star Wars Theory did an interview with Stuart Beattie, who was originally going to be the storyline writer for the Kenobi series, before I believe it was Joby Harold took over and they cancelled what Stuart was creating. And from the little snippets I've seen, we could have had something incredible, but I'm not going to dive into it too much until I do my reaction. I want to I want it to be as authentic as possible. And I might even be able to add a little bit to it, because I did ask a certain Tamura Morrison when I met him almost a year ago now about some rumors I'd heard about it previously, and to see if he knew anything on it. So yeah, my reaction to that will be coming out soon as well, but I wanted to get this out as well because Obi-Wan is still one of my favorite things that Disney have done, and I would love more of it. Just need to do it right. But yeah, no, it's good to be back. I've still been uploading reels and that, but I haven't actually done like a long form video in about a month or so. I think the last one I did was my Vader Hot Toys one from the Kenobi series. So we got a bit of a theme going at the moment. Yeah, we'll get this out, get a reaction to Theory's video out, and hopefully I can smash out a few interviews for Commander Jesse's briefings as well, because yeah, I always love talking Star Wars with anyone and everyone. Like you could get me going for hours about it. So yeah, no, should be good. Until next time, may the Force be with you always.